Jadual harian Hana selalu sibuk. Jadi, saya kekal sihat dengan Vida C. Dengan vitamin C yang cukup setiap hari, tiada apa pun yang boleh menghalangi saya. Minumlah Vida C, perlindungan sistem imun anda.
Good evening and welcome to Kini News. Some avid viewers who saw the news yesterday were paying close attention to the syringe that was used to inject Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin with the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine, so much so that a simple change of color has sparked a conspiracy theory to the point that the Health Ministry had to intervene.
The Health Ministry has addressed conspiracy theories claiming that Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin had not been given the COVID-19 vaccine yesterday. This came less than a day after Muhyiddin received the COVID-19 vaccine jab. Conspiracy theorists had pointed out that the needle used to draw from the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine vial had a blue hub, while the needle used to inject the Prime Minister had an amber hub. In a statement, the Ministry of Health explained that the different color needles mean different bore sizes. They said the needle used for the vial is bigger in size to ensure smooth extraction, and smaller bore-sized needles, which are red or orange, used for inoculation ensures less pain and bruises. They added that using different needles also prevents cross-contamination between patients and assured that it did not affect the vaccine inside the syringe. Muhyiddin had taken his first vaccine jab yesterday to kickstart the vaccination drive. During Muhyiddin's injection, nurse matron Lina Ibrahim was seen drawing the vaccine from a vial into a syringe using a needle with a blue hub. She then changed the needle to one with an orange hub before injecting it into Muhyiddin's left upper arm.
Selangor Menteri Besar Amiruddin Syari received his first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, and today we found out who else will be next in the queue to get their jab in the state. All of Selangor's assembly persons will be vaccinated in the first phase of the national COVID-19 immunization program along with other frontliners. This is according to Selangor Menteri Besar Amiruddin Syari. He said they are considered frontliners as they will manage the second and third phases of the immunization program later. He added that the assembly persons will receive the vaccine together with district officers and heads of local councils. Amiruddin also said that the state will be preparing 78,000 vaccines for selected frontliners, including the police, army and school teachers. Amiruddin said this during a press conference after receiving the vaccine at the Shah Alam Hospital today. He was among around 34 other officials who received the vaccine. Other individuals include Deputy Health Minister Dr. Noor Azmi Ghazali, State ex-officio members, State exco members, and State Security Council committee members. Selangor has 55 assembly persons other than Amiruddin, who is the Sungai Tua representative. The vaccines program's coordinating minister Khairi Jamaluddin also shared pictures of Amiruddin and Health Minister Dr. Adham Baba receiving the vaccines on Twitter. In his post, he said that more leaders were taking the vaccine to reassure Malaysians that it is safe. He also called on Malaysians to register for their vaccine appointment on the MySejahtera app. Health Minister Dr. Adham Baba received the vaccine alongside the Chief Secretary of the Government Muhammad Zuki Ali and several others at the Putrajaya Health Office today. The federal court has struck down a provision in Selangor's Sharia law that criminalizes unnatural sex after a man with an ongoing related case at the Selangor Sharia High Court mounted a legal challenge. The federal court has ruled that a provision of the Selangor Sharia law that criminalizes unnatural sex is void as the matter falls under the jurisdiction of federal and not state laws. This came following a man's legal challenge against Section 28 of the Sharia Criminal Offences Selangor Enactment 1995. The man is facing an ongoing related case where he has been charged under the provision with an alleged attempt to commit unnatural sexual intercourse. He had gone to the federal court to seek a declaration that Section 28 is invalid. Chief Justice Tengku Maimun Tuan Mat, who chaired a 9-member bench, allowed his legal challenge against the enactment. In a unanimous decision, Maimun said that the court found that Section 28 has not been validly enacted by the Selangor State Legislative Assembly. She said it is because the subject matter of Section 28, touching on the criminalization of unnatural sex, is one that only Parliament is empowered to enact on. To that extent, she ruled that Section 28 of the 1995 enactment is inconsistent with the federal constitution and is therefore void. A reported March 1st deadline for UMNO to decide whether or not they will work with Perikatan Nasional in the 15th general election is fast approaching, and the party seems to still be divided on the matter. Last night, Senior Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob shared his views on the issue.
Senior Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob has called for the Malays and Bumiputra to unite as they face an increasingly challenging political landscape. His statement came following public disagreement in the party on whether to work with Bersatu and Perikatan Nasional during the 15th general election. In a statement yesterday night, Ismail made no mention of the tussle but urged UMNO to learn from its past mistakes that led to its defeat in the 14th general election and rebuild the party's strength. He claimed that there were attempts to rip apart the country's diversity when the special privileges of the Malay Bumiputra were disturbed during Harapan's time in power, and said that UMNO must strengthen itself and ensure that it is no longer divided. Ismail said a division will weaken the Malays and will lead to a repeat of Pakatan's 22-month administration. He added that for as long as BN and UMNO were the government, there was respect for the coalition from the different races. Not only were the Malays and Bumiputra protected, but other races are free to practice their cultures and beliefs. Ismail also urged Malaysians to reject politics of hate and slander and find a new beginning towards a better and peaceful country post-COVID-19. Recently, there have been reports that Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin had given an ultimatum to UMNO to decide, by March 1st, whether UMNO will go into the 15th general election as an ally of or opponent to Perikatan Nasional. Ismail, UMNO's most senior leader in government, had largely steered clear of the topic and focused on his role as one of the public government faces in the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic.
DAP Secretary General Lim Guan Eng has called for Dewan Rakyat Speaker Azhar Azizan Harun to meet with the Prime Minister and set a date for Parliament to reconvene.
DAP Secretary General Lim Guan Eng has called on Dewan Rakyat Speaker Azhar Azizan Harun to immediately meet Prime Minister Muhyiddin Yassin and set a date for the Dewan Rakyat to reconvene. This came following the decree by the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Sultan Ahmad Shah, who said the parliament sitting can convene during the emergency order. In a statement today, Guan Eng said that as Speaker, Azhar should be prioritizing, upholding, defending, and preserving the sovereignty and powers of Parliament by restoring its function as set out in the Federal Constitution. He said instead, the King has shown a keener awareness than Azhar on the importance of Parliament and respect for the electoral mandate of the Rakyat. He added that Azhar should not sit back and wait for developments or direction from the Prime Minister and atone for his past failures by seeking an early parliamentary session to restore democracy as well as the people's power. Guan Eng pointed out that as Azhar himself was granted a special audience with the King on the matter, he should treat the issue of reconvening Parliament as one of utmost priority. He added that Pakatan Harapan leaders will also seek a meeting with the Speaker to convey the urgency of restoring parliamentary democracy. Yesterday, the Pakatan Harapan Presidential Council had called on Muhyiddin to immediately advise the King to call for the Parliament sitting by March, as consented by the King in the parliamentary calendar prior to the emergency.
February is almost over, and perhaps today we have a glimpse at some good news with regard to the national COVID-19 situation. Here's more on that.
The Health Ministry reported 1,924 new COVID-19 cases as of noon today, which is the lowest number of new cases since January 4th, when 1,741 cases were recorded. 6 of the new cases today were imported from abroad, while the rest are locally transmitted cases. The number of active cases has also fallen to its lowest level in over a month, with 28,837. For the local cases, Selangor recorded the highest number of new cases with 666. This was followed by Johor with 257 new cases, Sarawak with 219, and Kuala Lumpur with 218 new cases. There were 205 patients in the intensive care with 91 intubated. 12 deaths were also recorded today, bringing the death toll from COVID-19 to 1,100.
That's all for Kini Flash this evening. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. Don't forget, we also post the latest news to Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook, so follow us there for the latest news updates. If you like what we do support the channel by subscribing and also clicking on the little bell icon so that you never miss another top story. If you're going out, please remember to wear your mask, and where you can, please do stay at home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe, Malaysia.